chemistry is a branch of science with the other branches. If you are having a science, it is divided into three. We have chemistry, you have biology, and you have physics. So it's a branch of science together with biology and physics. Then the other thing we needed to understand is that in case of chemistry, it normally deals with composition, properties, and reactions. It deals with composition of substances, their properties, both chemical and physical properties, and their reaction. So in full, we were able to give the full definition of chemistry. Chemistry is a branch of science that deals with composition, properties, and the reaction of substances. So that's the definition we gave last time. Then we looked at drugs and drug abuse. Now we were able to define what is a drug, a substance that normally alters the way our body functions. And we said that at one point, each one of us, maybe we have used it. And we were able to categorize the different categories. We have medicine, we have over-the-counter, and the other one is Reishi, or for pressure. The one taken because of just pressure. Drugs taken for pressure. So the medicines are the ones which are prescribed by a doctor. Over the counter, these ones are the ones that you find in a shop, like most of the times these are painkillers like Panadol and so forth. Then the ones which are taken for pressure, they can be something like baggy, cocaine, mad drugs, and all that. And we said these ones, they are illegal drugs and they are not allowed in our country. And if one is found using them, then you can in fact even be jailed. Then we looked at the drug abuse and we said that in case of drug abuse, it's not only the ones which are taken for leisure that we say that one is abusing drug. But even when one is taking medicine, if you don't follow the doctor's prescription, then we would say that one is abusing the drug. For example, if one overdose, you take an overdose or another dose. For example, you have been given that you take 1 times 3, meaning 1 tablet 3 times. And after how long should you take this 1 tablet? You take a day contains 24 hours, so you divide with the number of times you are taking. Therefore, it means after each and every 8 hours, then you should be using that drug. But if you decide that you will take, sometimes you forget even to take the drug 3 times, you take once, then you are underdosing. Or if somebody is very sick and you want to get well, maybe it is malaria and you have been given 2 times 3, you decide to take 5 times 3, then it means that you are overdosing and therefore you are abusing that drug. We were also able to look at the effects of drug abuse, and I gave you some of the effects, and then I said that you should also be able to look at the other effects. So today we are going to look at the role of chemistry. Especially in the society, what is the role of chemistry? And one of the roles, we would say that it is a career subject. A career subject. We are saying this because one can become a doctor. It's through learning chemistry that one can become a doctor, one can become a teacher, one can become an engineer, and such like. Even also a nurse. So we are saying that this one is a career subject, or even one can become a lab technician and so forth. The other one is that through chemistry we are able to make medicines. So it helps us to make, this helps us to have the knowledge to make medicine. And we know that medicine is very crucial because it normally improves our lives. Then the other one is that it is through chemistry that we are able to make things like plastics. We can talk of, we are able to make plastics. We are also able to make things like soap through learning chemistry. And also it is through chemistry's knowledge that we are also able to make detergents and things like paints, and also things like paints. So I would say that the list is endless, that once we have learned chemistry, we are able to have a lot of knowledge that will help us to do so many things, like having a career on that, helping us to make medicine, helping us to make things like soap, like plastics. For example, what we call polythene papers, polythene, in fact, it's supposed to be polyethylene. And we shall learn this in chemistry form 4, whereby you talk of how do you make a polymer plus a polymer to make a monomer plus a monomer to make a polymer, whereby you realize that you have an ethene plus another ethene, you combine those two, you form a polyethylene, which is the plastic bags that we normally use. So I'm saying that the role of chemistry in the society is quite wide. These are just some of the roles that we can discuss. Now, the other thing, we are going to look at chemistry lab. Laboratory. What do we mean by chemistry laboratory? Now, a chemistry laboratory is a room where chemistry practicals are carried out. This is a room, a separate room whereby, not a classroom, but a separate room whereby chemistry practicals are carried out. Then, we want to see that in case of the chemistry laboratory, it contains or consists so many apparatus. We would say that it is a room where the chemistry experiments or practicals experiments are carried out. And it contains it normally contains what we call apparatus. So in that room, it is going to contain many apparatus, and apparatus are divided into different ways. For example, there are those that are apparatus for measuring volume, e.g., apparatus for measuring volume. Another one, apparatus for measuring mass or weight. Apparatus for measuring time. Another one, apparatus for measuring, you can have something like for measuring, or apparatus for heating. And also even for measuring temperature. Apparatus for measuring temperature. So we are able to find all these apparatus in a room that we are calling chemistry laboratory. This is a room whereby we normally carry out our experiments, and we carry out this experiment using all these apparatus. Therefore, we find that the apparatus are normally found in the laboratory. Now, just to highlight some of the apparatus, for each case. Then maybe in the next session we will be able to demonstrate those apparatus, like apparatus measuring volume. There are so many of them because some will normally measure accurate volumes, others they're just for measuring volume but not accurate. So for accurate volumes we can have something we can call pipette, something like pipette. We have burette. We also have measuring cylinder. And in case of measuring cylinder, they are of different volumes. Like you can have one for 10 centimeters, another one for 50 centimeters, another one for 100 centimeters, and so forth. You can also have a beaker. Beakers are also of different sizes. We can have one for 50, another one for 100 centimeters, and another one like for 250 centimeters. Then we also have things like conical flask and conical flask. They also measure volume. So there's sorry. There are so many of them, and I would say that basically those ones are examples which are for measuring volume. Next, apparatus measuring time. Now we can have a watch or a clock, can have watch, can also have stopwatch. The one which is commonly used is a stopwatch because this one is very accurate. Because it will give us the minute and also the second, unlike maybe something like a clock. So the one that we normally use mostly when we are carrying out experiment, we normally use a stopwatch. Now, there are also other apparatus. Measuring weight. We normally have one electronic. We have the electronic one, or we have top pan. We have the other one is called beam balance. And we have the electrical apparatus, which we call it the electrical balance. Now, the one which is commonly used in the lab is the electrical balance, and the reason is because, for example, if you have been told you measure 0.5 grams, it's a very small amount. So you can never use beam balance. Beam balance maybe like if you want something like 1 kg or even a half. But 0.5, you will not be very accurate if you are going to use a beam balance. Therefore, the commonly used in the lab, we normally use electrical balance. Then, we have apparatus for measuring temperature. And this one we normally use a thermometer. Because, for example, you can be told that you heat your solution up to maybe like 60 degrees. Therefore, you need a thermometer whereby you are able to see by the time you are getting into 60 degrees, and then maybe later you have been told heat up to up to 40 degrees. And therefore, in that case, you normally have apparatus for measuring that, and that is what we call a thermometer. And the one which is normally used, we call it mercury thermometer. The commonly used is the mercury thermometer. That is the one which is commonly used in the lab. Now, just to summarize what you have done today, you have seen very few things. One are just the roles of chemistry. I have said in case of roles of chemistry, then I have just given a few, but I have said that the list is endless. You can have so many other uses. One, we have said it is a career subject. You can become an engineer. You can also become a doctor. You can also become a technician. You can also become a pharmacist, and so forth, even a teacher. Now, another one, we have said that through the knowledge of chemistry, we are also able to make medicine. And you know how important that is to improve our life. You have also said that through that knowledge, we can be able to make soaps and detergents. Through chemistry, we have also been able to make plastics. And it's also through chemistry that we have been able to come up with the knowledge that will help us even to make things like nylon, cotton, and so forth. So I have said that list is endless, and you can have as many roles as possible. Then we have looked at the chemistry lab. You said this is a room that is set for practical or experiments in chemistry. And you have said it consists apparatus and contains several apparatus. Now these are the apparatus we use for these are the apparatus we use to carry out the practical. Now we have seen they're divided into many ways, like apparatus that we normally use for measuring volume, e.g. measuring cylinder, pipette, burette, conical flask or beaker. There are so many for volume. Then we have seen for time. For time, we have seen we have the commonly used. We have said it is a stopwatch. You have also seen the other one for measuring weight. And we have said the common one that we use is electronic. And there we have also seen about the thermometers. So all these are the apparatus that we normally find in the chemistry lab. But I have said that in the next session, then we are supposed to see these apparatus and explain what is the function of each one of the apparatus that we are going to have a look at. Therefore, we tend to stop at that point till next time. And I would say that next time we are going to look at the apparatus and their roles of each and every apparatus.